Here we go again. Another day in hell. I've sent over 1,000 messages, changed my offer over and over again. Why do I even make a business? Why am I doing this in the first place? What am I even providing? Can I even provide what they want? Yep. We all have been there before. Anyone who has ran a business before knows this feeling. It does not matter if you're running a cleaning company or an e-commerce stores or even a digital agency. Making an offer is hard. Making a working offer is hard. And it is even harder to turn that into a working script. But after years of doing it over and over, I might have just a teeny bit of idea on how to get through that process, so it is a bit smoother selling for you. So join me today as I show you the step of creating a script, and at the end video I can show you how you can feel more confidence when you are talking to a client using the script. So here's what I want you to do the next time you create the script. So step number one, the problem. So how would you approach this when you want to start a business? A lot of you have already made a product, made a website and stuff like that, but you don't know exactly what is the problem of your clientele, and what do they need. So it doesn't matter how good your product is, doesn't matter how good your marketing is. If you truly have something that they don't want, they won't buy from you. So I'll show you on how to do the research on the client, so that when you approach this creating offer, you know what they want. So first, there are a couple things that I did when I was just creating my clientele. So if I look here, I create what I call a persona. So of course, persona is something that you picture as your ideal client. When you started, a lot of these persona are not as accurate, but as you kind of focus in and you kind of learn more about business, you kind of understand, okay, these are the type of client I need to, and these are the type of client that I want to target. To start, it might be even be something that's just early as possible and you don't have much beside industry. So let's do this together, all right? So something I'm targeting is, I know that when I started, I know that I want to target business broker. So that's all I started with. So industry of my ideal target client is business brokerage. Okay, it's business brokerage. Okay, business brokerage. And then I went out, did a couple of interviews on the business brokerage side of things. So I kind of want to see what type of things they need. And there are three things that I found that business broker need. One is buyer, two, seller, and three is employees. Employees is not as common because a lot of business brokers aren't getting enough businesses and those who are, they cap their limit at a certain amount until they got new employees. So the biggest problem for business broker right now is that I can't get enough employees. Okay, so just put yourself in the shoes of your client. Just think, what do they need? If I was a business broker right now and I'm not doing any business, I was like, I can't get enough client. I don't have enough data list to reach out, or and that will follow up like, I don't have a platform where I can reach out. So these are very specific problem because I know the industry. However, there are three basic fear that people will always have: the fear of FOMO, the fear of loss, and the fear of death. So those are the three biggest things that you always want to target. So the fear of FOMO is when you see someone else doing successful things and you want to be in it. So a lot of the time, for example, this industry, people will see big business broker out there doing millions or billions dollar in business sold, and that made them want to have those type of numbers. So that's the fear of FOMO. It's like, what am I not doing that aren't you, and then what am I not doing that make me become like this? So see, so some problem will be like, hey, I don't realistically, the biggest one is I don't know what to do. People walk around with a cord and they want someone to lead them, because that's basically human instinct. So I don't know what to do. Fear of FOMO. I don't know how I could get to a certain amount of someone. So I don't know how I could produce the same number as the top business broker in my firm. That's fear of FOMO, because they don't know, they're missing out on something that the other top business broker are doing. So I'm gonna write that down. I don't know how to perform like top business broker. Okay. Another one will be fear of loss. So fear of loss is when it's not like they fear that they will lose someone. It's more like they fear that they will lose to someone. And people hate losing. That's the biggest thing that I've learned, that people hate losing. And the moment that you mention that, hey, your competition is doing these much numbers, you should get on it, that make them want to move forward with the offer. So like the next one will be like, I don't want to lose to my competitor. So you must know who's their competitor is. The more specific you can get, the better. So for example, if you say like, hey, someone that is working in a firm of like First Choice Business Broker, for example, their direct competitor will be Sunbelt, business broker who are working in the same area. You say like, hey, we have done some research and I've talked to a couple people in your industry, and the broker over in Sunbelt Business Broker are heavily targeting this with this type of campaign, and they're doing these type of numbers. So I feel like if you don't want to be drowned out by competition, you should try these things. That will make them say, oh my god, I need to get on that. That is both fear of FOMO as well as fear of loss. They hate losing. Last thing is fear of death. The fear of death is more related to the health concern. A lot of people don't want to spend most of their time wasted away, and when they die, they will regret it. A lot of people don't. I mean, the reason most people are scared of death is because they feel like they haven't lived enough, because feel like they have wasted their time. So what you can go into that is like, hey, I don't want to waste my time to chase client. That will be one of the biggest problems the business broker have. They don't have the time to do follow-up or anything like that, and they know they need to do follow-up. They know damn well they need to do follow-up, because yeah. So right now I have a list of problems in the industry. The next step to creating an effective script is having a solution to it. So one of the biggest tips that I've learned from Alex Hormozi is that you can turn all of these into how-to question. So that would put you in a better mindset of solving. So for example, I would take one of these problems and try to solve it, because it will take me hours to try to come up with a solution for everything. But for example, I would just cross out the first one is I don't get enough employees. Okay, so how to get enough employees? I don't have enough data to reach out. Then I would turn that into how to get data lists to reach out. Next, I would turn that into how to have a platform where I can do outreach. I don't know what to do, how to know what to do. How to know what to do. I don't know how to perform like top business broker. How to perform like a top business broker. I don't want to lose to my competitor. How to not lose to my competitor. I don't want to be my time. How to not waste my time. How to not waste my time. Okay, so that's pretty much on how you would come up with a solution. But take time for you to ponder over this and think, what can I exactly solve? What type of solution can I come up with? I'm just going to take one for example. There are multiple ways to solve a solution. One, you can improve a system, or two, you can increase the perceive of success. So perceived values is when someone think that they're winning, but in reality, you haven't changed much. One example would be an elevator. So someone go in and complain why this elevator goes so slow. It takes such a long time for me to get to the top floor. And guess what? They come up with a solution. There are two solutions you can solve that problem. One is spend millions and billions of dollars upgrading elevators so it go faster. Or two, put a mirror into the elevator so people can spend their time looking at themselves, because they are most obsessed with themselves, and time will fly so much faster when they're intriguing in themselves. So for example, let me take this. How to not lose to my competitor. There are multiple ways one can solve this. One is I can implement a system. So implement a system. Implement a system, okay? Alright, so implement that's the first solution to it. Another one would be post about yourself, so your client think that they're losing to you. That put them in the wrong mindset. So they are gaslighting themselves to think that, hey, I'm losing to this guy. So that'd be post about your business more, so your client, so your competition will be gaslighted. Okay. And there's one more, which is implement tracking. So implement tracking. A lot of the time, when people are doing outreach, they never really track their outreach message and their reply message, and that caused you to think that, hey, I am not doing enough. I'm stuck exactly in that right now, and I'm trying to find a way where I can track, so I know that my system are working and what I'm doing is enough. Like, what I'm doing is providing sufficient result. So when you implement tracking to your client, they will have the numbers. So you're not changing it. You're not improving the system. Nothing. You're just putting a tracking system in there. So people will see that, hey, oh my God, I'm getting so much client. Oh my God, my reply rate is higher than the usual average reply rate in my industry right now. That make them think that they're winning. Even though their system haven't changed, even though nothing have changed, it increased the perceived values. Implement tracking. Boom. And I've recently started just implementing tracking their interest reply in my client account. And they were like, oh my God, this system is so good. Oh my God, I have gotten so much lead from this. And oh my God, I have to pause these systems so I can catch up to these lead. I haven't changed a single thing. Nothing have changed. I've been using the same system over and over again. All I did was implement tracking. Boom. All right. Next. So once you have settled on a solution, there are multiple ways you can approach this. So for example, one of the easiest offer that went up was, hey, I can help you implement a system so that you won't lose your competition. Boom. Include the solution, the offer, the solution, and what they don't want to happen. So that's how you create an offer. Or you can do like, hey, I can implement you a system in 30 days where you can get your desired result, where you can get 5 to 10 clients. So that would be more solving into, hey, I don't have enough client, than losing to my competition. But just for the sake of this video, I would just take, hey, I can implement a system for you so you won't lose your competition. Or, hey, I can implement tracking for you so that you will have a higher average than all of your clients. Hey, I can implement tracking for you so you could improve your system so that you won't lose your competition to your competition. That's how you create an effective offer. And once you have one land, I typically spend a lot of time to kind of improve this. So I would write a bunch like, hey, I could do this for you, I could do this without that, blah, blah, blah. I write a bunch of offer out, and that will make me have to do tests as I go on. So next, there are frameworks that I would like for you to kind of implement. These are what I call mindset when you are reaching out to a client. There are many positions you can take when you're writing a script. You could take as their old friends, you could be like, hey, their old client or stuff like that. There are multiple positions that you could take to deliver this. The reason why you are just or you're taking a position is that so that they will lower their guard. So a lot of the time, if you are approached by your family member, you have more likely to have more trust for them than if you were approached by a stranger. Quite obvious, but you can use this to your advantage and take different framework. So the one framework that I am using for my business broker client is I approach their client as someone who have talked to them before. So like, hey, this is John, using on a first name basic. Hey John, this is Tim, or this is Ashley. I was wondering if we could talk about selling your businesses. Or hey John, this is Tim. I haven't seen you in a while. Never seen them before. I haven't seen you in a while. Can I reach out to see if you're open to selling your business? And that will let people open up more. Make it sound like that you're their friend already. Approach it in a way where you can lower their guard. So what I did for my client right now is one framework that I use is like, hey, can my friend reach out? Hey, I have this friend that are doing this, blah, 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 blah. Would you be able to talk to him? Something like that. And that kind of lower a lot of people's guard, and I've gotten a lot of clients from it. Just test a lot of different position, different framework. You can even go in as like their lost family member. Hey, this is John, your long lost brother. Can I reach out to see if you're open to do business? People say, what? I don't have a John that's a long lost brother, but they're more likely to reply. I don't know if that works. I haven't tested yet. But yeah, take different framework to create your script. Step 5 is always test. Do a bunch of A/B testing and always track after it. And every single time that you test something, you will learn more about that industry a bit more. And over time, these will compound, and you will guaranteed, one of these days, you guarantee hit a golden offer where you get so much client that you couldn't handle. And I wouldn't say that I'm fully complete yet, close to that point, but I'm starting to have that reassurance that one day, not one day, that reassurance that I will be able to get client no matter what happened, because I know how to do the offer. So, conclusion. Now, with this in hand, you should be able to be fully confident every single time that you make a script. And just to recap, so here's all the steps. First is find out the problem. Step 2, solution. 3, the offer. 4, framework. And 5, testing. So just follow these steps, and I guarantee you will land a golden offer, and you can get so much client that you will just be completely booked all day, every day. So that's pretty much it for today. But other than that, if you want me and my team to set you up a system where you get 5-10 clients a month automatically, then book a call with me below. Put a comment below, or just check out my free course. But other than that, later.